All right, everybody, welcome into our weekly high school preview show. I'm so glad that we're having a season this year, especially under the circumstances, guys.
Yes.
It's been an off season like never before. I don't think players around the area has appreciated football like they're going to appreciate it this year. It's unbelievable. We are going to start off, because of the players not being here yet, we're going to start off with the Fyffe Red Devils and Isabella. Isabella's making the trip up to Fyffe this year. And when you say Isabella, a lot of people are not real familiar with Isabella. Some are, some are not. The only loss they had last year was to Lynette, who eventually went on to win the 1A state championship with Christian Story, who has more touchdowns than anybody in Alabama. History, actually, broke Bo Nix's record, who's currently at Alabama. He was recruited by Alabama. Yeah. So with that being said, you're talking about a 12-1 team that's going on the road to Fyffe, and Isabella fans, they really think they're going to win this game, and for good reason. I mean, there's 12-1 last year, and our only loss was to Lynette in a pretty close game. But Reggie, talk about Isabella a little bit and who Fyffe's facing.
Isabella, they are pretty. They're big and they're physical. I did watch a little video of them the other night. They're not a pushover, and I think they're going to give Fyffe a pretty good game. Like I said, they're big up front, and
they got two linemen going to play college football.
Yeah.
Already.
Oh yeah. They Isabella. They've been around for a while. They're not a slouch team. That program overall is a very good program. It's to your only loss is to Lynette. That says a lot.
Yeah,
says a lot.
Now, buddy, I want you to talk about what kind of environment they should expect when they come into the Red Devil Stadium at Fyffe.
Okay, the last time I was there was the Fyffe and Collinsville game, in which Collinsville had a great season, a great football team. I'm gonna tell you, it's a different environment. It is. They bring a huge fan base, which is something we may not see this year because of COVID. The crowd noise might be a lot less, but I can tell you that Fyffe's going to be ready, and you're going to have to stop what they do. In last year so far, I haven't seen a team that can do that. So We'll see.
They're going to be returning right around 19 out of 22 starters now. Yep. They're going to be moving Ike Rowell to quarterback now. Dukes is going to be laying tailback. It's going to be tailback by committee there this time. They're senior heavy for once. Last year, they're senior heavy for once.
And that's another thing. I mean, you had some somewhat young guys. I guess juniors aren't really young guys, but you've got seniors that have been under this type of offense and defense for this long. 19 of them returning, so you're going to see a physical football team for sure.
Yeah. These guys have been together since Pee Wee. They've literally been together since Pee Wee and played. I mean. A lot of games.
Countless amount of games.
Yeah, I think they've lost one game.
And that's the same system is run from Pee Wee's up, right?
In 2015, they lost a game. Yeah. I'm looking to see a very physical game. Until I see somebody between the tackles handle what Fyffe does, we don't make predictions on here, but it's hard for me to believe somebody's going to go into Fyffe in the opening day and come out with a victory. Until I see that, it's going to be hard to beat. You got a defense that gave up 3 points last year. It's got one player missing off a defense that only gave up. The starters gave up 3 points all of last season. I don't know how you combat that. I know they're going to be ready. I know it's going to be loud. It's going to be very physical. It's hard for me to pick against the Red Devils in this situation, man.
Exactly.
Just scripted for them. So with that being said, we're going to move on to our next game. All right, our next game is going to be Collinsville at Section. Very interesting. Collinsville's got a new head coach this year. And I got two of the Collinsville Panthers with me right now. I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves.
My name's Blake Sparks. I'm a senior, and I play middle linebacker.
Bryant Patton, senior, offensive line.
And before we get going, you had a torn ACL. How are we going? How's the rehabbing coming along on that now?
I have been released now.
Really?
Yes, sir.
And when did you tear it?
The Fyffe game.
So from there to now, you've been released to play football.
I had surgery back in March.
Man.
And I got released last week.
That is amazing. I remember it used to ACLs was full year, calendar years, and now that's out the door. All right, let's talk about this game. So the last time Collinsville and Section played, it was a 41-7 win for Collinsville. Collinsville leads the all-time series 9-7. Daniel Garrett, who's the new head coach at Collinsville. We're looking for big things from him. He comes from Montgomery Academy. We've actually met with him several times. Montgomery Academy, correct? Madison Academy. You're correct. That's right. Madison Academy. Sorry about that. But Montgomery Academy was Coach Nelson. Yeah. Madison Academy. Sorry about that.
A lot of new names and faces this year.
Yeah, a lot of new names and faces. I'm sorry about that. But Coach, don't kill me. But Coach Garrett, we actually did a one-on-one with him at Madison Academy and learned a lot about him. And I'm going to let Mr. Sparks take this one. Talk about what the word mortar means for your program at Coaches Instilled with you guys.
It means everything. It's the key values to our culture, and it's how we want to live up to it. And it starts with being off the field. That's when the mortar community starts. We all try to preach it to everybody, and it's how we live at Collinsville.
And the best way Coach described what mortar means to me, the word mortar can mean one of two things. It can be an explosive device that blows up everything around it if you're not buying into the program, or it could be what is inside of bricks that brings everything together and holds everything together, which I thought that was a unique way of looking at it. And he's brought a lot of excitement, and a lot of people have seen how many seniors Collinsville graduated last year, and they think right off the bat, Collinsville's done for a while, but I don't think so. We went out to practice, and we were genuinely shocked at the size and the growth and the energy. And they got Orr back, they got Barkley back, they got these two guys back. I mean, they got a lot of positives there. From your standpoint, what have you noticed since Coach has been there that's looked different from last year's team?
We mostly we've just changed a lot of our culture. He's more like into being fired up. He's real energy. Energized.
Yeah,
that word.
More than one again?
Well,
that's pretty
he's young and on fire, and he's ready to go.
I'm gonna give Coach Garrett the edge.
Yeah, are you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to him.
Yeah.
Well, Coach Wenonah did have a heart attack, so that's got to slow him down a little bit. But both of them tremendous coaches. It's going to be interesting to see. I like Collinsville in the role they're in now. Now they are, they're not the hunted no more. Everybody, kind of cast. They thought Collinsville, they're done because they graduated everybody. Not the case. They're in that role where they can sneak up on people now, and I love that.
I noticed that Friday at the scrimmage, they looked real solid.
And Orr's back, and he looks fantastic. Barkley looks like he's a college player. That guy, how much weight has he gained?
Probably about 20 to 25.
He looks like he's grown. I called his dad, and I was like, this guy looks like a different football player.
Oh, yeah.
Sparks, any tackles you had the last 2 years? About 400? About 275?
275, I'll say that.
Wow.
Can we get 150 from you this year? Is that something? I mean, is that too much to ask out of you?
I hope not. I'm going to do all I can.
I got you, brother. The guys, what have y'all seen on section?
They're returning the main player that we've keyed on last year, number 7. He's going to be back. He's a real good player. And I haven't really got to watch that much film on him. But, yeah, we are focusing in pretty hard on him. I don't really know that much about him as of right now, though, other than what we know in practice.
All right. Well, guys, good luck to you guys Friday night.
Yes, sir.
And we are looking forward to having you on again because, we love some Collins whooping here.
Yes, sir.
As you can see. All right, our next game we're going to be talking about is going to be Ohatchee and Cleburne County. It's a very interesting game. We have 2 of the Ohatchee Indians in with us right now. I'll let these guys introduce themselves.
Noah Fuller, senior running back, cornerback.
Brock England, senior, cornerback and running back.
Josh Abercrombie, backup quarterback, running back.
Something pretty interesting about Ohatchee. They've come off, the last 25 games, they're 23-2. 2-time region champs back to back. We just had Aiden Simpson on. Very good one-on-one interview. Love Coach Martin. We're going to be doing a coach's show with him every Saturday morning. Josh is actually going to be drinking some of this coffee on Coach Martin's deck with him.
Mornings with Martin.
That's a beautiful name of a show.
And if you follow him on Facebook, we're going to be filming from the upper deck.
So y'all know what that means. That's where he's at most mornings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's not on the lower deck.
He drops just bombs of knowledge.
Yeah,
on Facebook every morning.
He is the thing I like about Coach Martin more than anything is he's one of those guys that's always positive.
Always.
Positive. He always looks at the bright side of things. But I'm gonna let Josh lead off here and talk about what we should see from the Ohatchee Indians this year.
Speed. Lots of it. I was talking with Coach Martin, and I said there might be one team on the schedule, but I think they're going to be faster than every team that they place. These two guys actually are the first leg and third leg of the state champion 4x200 last year. So just a lot of speed, and speed kills. I was watching Brock here. I was standing there talking with Coach Martin the other day, and I didn't know. I said, Coach, who's number 15 right here? And I had watched Brock. He's on the side that I'm standing on, and he's playing corner, and he's figured out a good way to cover his wide receiver. You just don't let him run his route.
Is physical at the line?
Yeah. You know the difference between jam and jelly? You can't jelly a wide receiver at the line of scrimmage.
I like where your head's at.
And
Your head's at.
he's physical. Is that something that you've always been? Is just physical at the line, or?
Well, I mean, one thing I don't want to do is let them get past me. So the longer they're on the line, the less chances they can get past me.
Yeah, I mean,
I got a question about that though. I mean, if you're a state champ sprinter,
Mm-hmm.
he's probably got the recovery speed if they did get past him to go make a play on the ball.
Then at the other corner, you got Noah over here.
And I'm physical.
Yes. And the middle linebacker, yeah, he was also on that 4x200 team.
A linebacker was on that.
Yes.
Enos?
Yes, sir.
He's playing middle linebacker now? What?
Yeah.
I bet that dude is probably gobbling everything in the middle of
Dude,
it.
I'm telling you, there's not going to be
Is his hand good now? No, okay. Because it was broken going into the
Oh, yeah.
playoffs.
His hands are good.
Good. So Eli is a linebacker.
Yeah, you got a lot
Nice.
of speed in that secondary.
Damn.
Yeah.
You got a lot of speed all over the field.
Yeah, then you got
Well, in this spread era, when people are trying to spread you out, Ohatchee's got the speed to cover it.
and Aiden got the daggone strength of 10 crackheads.
Everybody's really fast on the whole team.
Yeah.
When I come from practice, I called Bo and I said, they are fast. And that's one thing that Coach Martin was talking about, his offensive and defensive philosophy is he wants everybody to play fast. You know, it's not overly complicated, and there's a reason for that. He wants you to play at 100% speed.
I got a question for Noah. You're not really taking over for Dominique. You had a lot of carries last year. You guys are a different type back. You're the type guy, if you get a step on him, you're to the house. Where Dominique's kind of a between the tackles guy that likes to pound people. Talk about your running style in general and the opportunity you have this year to show what you can do.
Well, I know I'm very fast, so when I break out, good luck catching me. But Dominique was also very fast. I think he was just tired when he got the ball because from running every play. But not only am I very fast, I'm strong. I've gotten very stronger over the quarantine and stuff.
You physically look bigger than the last time we seen you.
I think I was like 170 then. Now I'm 194. Weight went up, grew a few inches. Just trained very hard over that break.
We stopped by.
What do y'all eat now?
There's got to be something in the water.
No,
Creek bank
Creek
water.
bank.
Oh, yeah.
Creek bank water.
When we stopped by one day, and I walked in, and I said, good night. I said, no.
They look
I mean,
different.
you could tell it was 20 pounds of muscle.
But he's one of many that we've seen. Even Eli looked a lot like
Now-
he filled out more.
During when the quarantine was going on, I asked Coach Martin, I said, what do you got the guys doing? And correct me if I'm wrong, but y'all had a workout that you were supposed to do, and you had to video a portion of it and send it in.
A Zoom call.
It's what?
Zoom call. Zoom
It's
call.
kind of like FaceTime.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
okay.
it was
I
like-
can't fool Martin with social media now.
Oh, he's all
Michael
over
Jordan
it. He's
with
going to
social
use that
media.
to the fullest. But y'all had to, I mean,
They were good workouts.
Yeah.
They were long.
We had some at 8 in the morning and 2:30 in the afternoon.
And this is gonna be your first year starting.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah.
ineligible last year. And
I was ineligible 10th grade year.
Okay.
So I played a little last year.
He got in a fight and beat up a bunch of people and threw him off the team.
That's what
Just
it
kidding. Just kidding.
But yeah, I mean,
I got what have y'all? I know y'all watch film on Cleburne County. What have y'all seen from them? I know they had some struggles last year, but what have y'all seen on film from those guys?
They got 2 tall wide receivers. That's all I know.
We got 2 tall corners right here to negate that, so I like them with our chances.
Well, I watched the whole game of film that we got released, so they run a little bit of our offense, and they also spread the ball out too. So
They run the double wing like you guys
yes,
from the gun.
they ran that little.
A lot of wheel routes.
They like to spread the ball out, go empty and stuff. So I know it'll be tough because we don't know exactly what they're going to run, but we'll be ready.
Absolutely.
their starting quarterback is gone, right?
He's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to look up some film from last year's team, but it's, like they said, it's hard to do when the quarterback, new running back, I don't know if it's new running back, but it'll be a new quarterback, but it's hard to get a feel for exactly what they're going to do.
Well, Josh, before we wrap this one up, man, talk about when we're going to get to drop the mornings with Martin. When do we look to try to drop that each
We'll
week?
do it after the first game, so it'll be next Saturday, this
Are
Saturday.
you going to drop it that morning?
Try to.
Okay.
I've got a lot
I know
going
we got a
on.
lot going on, but yeah.
We got a lot going on. We got breakfast with Benefield on Saturday mornings with Martin, and the Steve Smith show.
Yep. And the Ollie Smith show will be during the week.
Yep. So,
Maybe another, there may be a 5th lingering. We don't know yet. Could be. Stay tuned. But these guys, the Creek Bank, mornings with Martin.
I'm going to try to have it out.
This year, brother.
But if I don't have it out by Saturday afternoon, just be calm, be patient.
It's coming.
It's coming.
One last question for each one of you guys. We're done with the COVID thing. We're getting football now. What kind of relief is it for you guys to know that we're actually going to get some football and there's a chance that could have been taken away?
I'll let you go first.
I mean, it was a lot better. I mean, we were getting out of baseball and felt bad for the seniors, and then it was like coming to summertime, like, hey, we may not have a football season.
Exactly.
And then they started talking like, hey, we're going to do seasons, figure everything out, and then we got it, and everything's riding on the first game. Let's make sure it's a good one.
Absolutely.
I think now it's just focus on football. At first it was what's everything going on. Now it's just football. It's our games this week. I'm not. Of course, we're still gonna be worried about wearing our mask and sanitizing and everything, but
Which we do have.
it's finally game week. That's the most
Finally game week. Better not get your blood flowing, man.
a little bit.
Are y'all doing, do you know when you're going to be doing your senior night?
This week.
This week.
This week, okay. That's what I was thinking. A lot of teams, I think, are going to be going first home game, senior night.
Ashville's doing it.
That's good.
And I think there was talk about them doing homecoming, but I think homecoming's going to be the next home game.
Yeah. That's
Go ahead, just in case.
just in case, but I think we're gonna play this because the case numbers are dropping and everything.
Yeah.
So,
I haven't heard too much about it.
y'all ready to shut this one down?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Look, big things out of these guys this year. All right, everybody, welcome in. Our next game is a major, really big game here in Etowah County. It doesn't get any bigger than this game every year, and it usually starts right off the bat. And again, this year no different. Etowah versus Gadsden City. This is the biggest rivalry in Etowah County, and I got 2 gentlemen on each side of me from the Etowah Blue Devils defense. And the reason I'm bringing in their defensive players, and we did that on purpose this year, is because their defense, I'm telling you right now, I've seen them at practice, they are going to be much improved. And I'm talking about on a level that we haven't seen in a long time. I dare to say that the defense could be the backbone of the team at this point. And I know a lot of people who has not seen these guys play yet are thinking, well, they got Wenonah and Ollie and all these guys on offense. And they do have those guys, and those guys are unbelievable. But I'm telling you, what I've seen and what I've heard from the coaches' mouths themselves, their defense is going to be that good, that legit. That's why I brought these 2 guys in before the papers and everybody starts coming on board after they see them play. You're hearing it here first at Average Joe's. I'm going to let these 2 gentlemen introduce themselves.
I'm Tyler Dobbs. I play linebacker. Benny Nance. I plays nose.
Bennett, I want to start with you because in the aggressive defense that you guys are going to play, your position is kind of that anchor in the middle. You're going to take double teams. That's probably going to be your job. You're going to clog things up for Gladden and Dobbs and these guys to shoot gaps. Talk about your role and what this defense is going to look like this year, which was different from last year.
Yes, sir. I think we're going to be a lot more disciplined, a lot more head on us. I know you're talking about the double teams. We got a lot of that for Dobbs and Trevor to get through.
It's just go out there and play now.
Now, let's talk about Toby and what Toby's going to mean to this defense and how they can't double you and double Toby. They're going to run out of people. Let's talk about Toby Kemp and what he means to that defensive front.
Toby's a really good player. He's got a really good head on him. He's pretty stable, but get on his bad side, on the wrong side of the ball with him, it's not very fun. He's a big part in our defense.
Absolutely. Mr. Dobbs, when Josh was putting your highlights together, he stopped it and messaged me about 2 a.m. He's like, dude, this dude is killing people.
He could kill somebody.
He's like, and I said, well, if you think he's a real deal then, you should see him now because it looked like he's gained about 15 pounds of muscle. He's gotten bigger, faster, and stronger. Dobbs, talk about your off season and where you're at heading into this season.
Well, I mean, everybody calls me Heavy D now because I added about 15 pounds on. But I purposely did that. I came in last year not necessarily getting bullied around by the linemen, but I was getting shoved and pushed a lot. Sophomore weighing about 160, so I told myself I have to get up there. Actually, I gained 20 before off season. I gained 15, 20 more. I'm at 200 now.
Wow.
So that's a big deal, and the weight really matters up in the lineman, especially when I get down on the line. I got to be able to push and shove back. If not, what's the purpose of me being out there?
100%. And y'all got a new linebacker this year. You can talk about him a little bit.
Oh, Perry, yeah. If you think I'm going to hit hard, wait till you see that boy hit someone in the head. Because that kid is fast, mean, and energetic. Super quiet, but will knock your head off.
And the thing about it is you guys already know what you have in the secondary with Nana and Tay and Trent's going to be back there and Ollie back there. But you guys up front, that front seven's going to be raw this year.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really excited about that. And you know Gadsden City's coming back. Talk about the atmosphere in the game and what that atmosphere was like last season and what you guys expect coming into this season.
You know, it's really loud. You got to be paying attention on both sides of the ball. Can't really hear anything.
No.
Having to look for plays, it's pretty rough. It's going to be a great game. I remember my dad talking to me about Emma Sansom and Etowah playing when he was in school and how big of a rivalry it was for them. And I think it's a great thing that we've got it back into the schedules. But at the end of the game, we may have our differences, but we're going to come together. We're still going to be buddies. It's all competition.
100%. And Dobbs, the one area where I thought you guys had a real advantage last year, y'all seemed to be in shape towards the end of the game when it grinded on. Now, granted, making one out and stuff and got hurt, and that changed the game a lot. But as that game grinded on, it seemed like Etowah was just in a little bit better shape. How are y'all looking coming in this year? Because I know you got a new coach and Coach Locke, and I'm sure he's got you guys ready.
You hear a lot of coaches saying you don't run on game week. Oh, we do. We just got done running 480s.
Ooh.
So, and he said it's going to carry up until Thursday. So, we're going to be in shape. And if we don't play 4 quarters, I ain't going to like Monday very well.
No. You don't want to see Coach Locke then, do you?
No. No matter the score, we got to play 4 quarters.
100%.
As defensive players, it's got to be somewhat, the crowd is supposed to get loud when the other team is, on offense. Do y'all use hand signals for defense?
Yeah, that's what majority of our blitz and what kind of formation we line up in is that we have a majority of them for the same thing. But
yeah, because that's something that you really don't think about is the crowd is trying to, be loud for when their offense is on the field, but at the same time, it's also their defense is on the field. So it's you got to kind of figure your way out around that. But
most definitely,
Gadsden City Etowah. I've been going to this game for years, and it feels different.
I want to ask Bennett something right now. Having an experienced guy like Coach Pierce there has been there, really through the farmer years to now, and then bringing in a guy like Coach Cook, that combination. Talk about those two guys and what they've meant for your defensive program.
Coach Cook and Coach P, they may argue a little bit when we do our things, but at the end of the day, they're going to coach us the right way. They're going to get back together, go over film, and talk through what we did wrong, what we did right, and they're going to correct it for us the next day. Maybe with up downs, maybe without. But either way, it's going to be fixed, and we're going to come out strong.
I love it. And Dobbs, I'm going to close with this with you. What's this mean to you? You're going to be a junior this year. I know last year you guys got the playoffs, didn't end like it was. What's it going to take to get you guys over the hump this season?
Just dedication and focus, pride, discipline, and toughness. I mean, that's our 3 words this year. If you don't got all 3, you're going to be a first round, second round team again, and that's not what we're trying to go to. We're trying to be a state contender team,
Absolutely.
And we got it this year. We truly do got the right coaches, we got the right team. We got it all. We just got to put it all into motion.
Man, I'm so glad you guys came to sit in. It will not be the last time you come sit in on the preview show.
Yes, sir.
Good luck to you guys.
Thank you.
All right, our next portion had the Etowah guys on earlier. We got Gadsden City in right now, and I'm going to let these 2 gentlemen introduce themselves.
I'm DeMarcus Macon, QB Gadsden City High.
Rodney Johnson, cornerback at Gadsden City High.
I'm going to be honest with you, man. Last year, this game was back and forth. DeMarcus got hurt very early. Seemed like when DeMarcus got hurt, the game changed. Reggie, I'm going to let you take it over from there. Last year's game, that atmosphere, what was on the line and everything, these guys have got to be looking for revenge. So take us back to last year and the progressions you've seen in the offseason up to now.
Like you said, last year, the game seemed to change when DeMarcus got hurt. Seemed like Gadsden City, they just lost their momentum. And but I give them credit, they battled to the end. And that's one thing that I hadn't seen from Gadsden City in several years, is them not giving up and fighting to the end. And going into this year, I'm excited about the changes they've made on the coaching staff. I'm excited about the guys coming back. I think this is going to be the year that Gadsden City, people start talking about Gadsden City football again. Being around the guys, being around the coaches, I think the mindset of the team has changed. I think everybody's focused on the same thing. They've got the same goals in mind, and like I said, they're going to shock some people this year. And I think these guys will agree with me on that.
Defensively, Mr. Johnson, talk to us about what you guys are going to look like defensively. I know y'all had some parts moving in, but y'all look bigger, faster, and stronger than last year to me in practice.
I say defensively, conditioning has been key to us. We do a lot of conditioning now than last year. We weren't doing that much conditioning, so we can be able to play a fast pace, because the region that we're in this year, everything is fast paced. So that's what we're key to play fast.
Most of those teams down there are like spread type teams, which Hoover kind of brought that to the state. But you got Hewitt and then obviously Thompson. But one thing I noticed is it ain't going to be nothing that's going to shock you guys. I mean, last year a lot of people give the preconception that Gadsden City's moving to 7A Region 3, it's over. People don't realize you guys split with them in the playoffs 2-2, and then James Clemens took Hoover to the rink
to overtime. I think. Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like it's Gadsden City's going to play the Packers and the Chiefs next week. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Gadsden City's going to shock some people.
They are. There's going to be some upsets that's going to happen, and I'm calling this on air. I think there's going to be an upset or two that's going to shock the state.
Absolutely. And if you're Gadsden City, you couldn't ask for a better scenario, a better position to be in. You want everybody to say, "Oh man, don't think about us.
Right.
Don't think about us. We're trash. Don't even look at us." You couldn't script it any better, probably, Smith.
Yeah.
Now, DeMarcus, you guys have had some changes in UOC, and offensively, how do you guys look different this year than you did last year?
Oh yeah, last year it was kind of bad, but this year we're getting better, picking up the pace, more leadership, and back on what he said, conditioning, it helps us a lot during the summer workouts.
And let me ask you this, that just my opinion viewing the game last year, and I know you got injured in it. It seemed like Etowah was in a little bit better shape week 1 when you guys played, or week 0 last year. Yeah. But this year, that's not going to be the case. I know, because I've heard this from several Gadsden City players now, that you guys are in shape. And I want to ask you about a player in particular, Marcus. What about your tailback, CJ? Talk about him and how he's kind of grown up and looks a little bit different this year. He looks like a grown man.
He does.
CJ Miller, yeah, he's a great guy. He's stepped up to be a leader too. Last year he was kind of upset that he didn't get a lot of PT, but this year he gonna step up to the plate and take over.
Absolutely. Reggie, what you got?
Speaking of CJ, I noticed before everything was shut down in the spring, he was on the track team. He was running track, and I noticed that he had lost a little bit of weight, and his speed was unbelievable. When I saw him running, I was like, "Whoa, what happened?"
What's he weigh? Is he in the 230?
Yeah, 230.
Just about.
And running track?
Yeah,
He's fast.
he's fast. I mean, I think you were out there with me. He won his heat, and I was like, wow. And that's when I knew. I said, this is going to be a different team next year with him running the ball. I think his nickname in middle school was the Bus.
I can see why.
So it's gonna be trouble.
Defensively, what do y'all expect out of Etowah this year? You know, Brady obviously transferred over, is playing with you guys, but just knowing that you're going to be going up against Nana and Trent and Ollie in that secondary, talk about some of those battles and what do you expect out of those guys?
First and foremost, those are two great guys. But I like to step up to the plate. I think of myself as one of the best players in Gadsden. That's how I've always viewed myself. So I'm going to step up to the challenge. I'm going to shock a lot of people if I have not already shocked a lot of people.
You're getting offers and stuff, and a lot of people's noticing. But, you know, when you get offers and things like that and you're playing against competition, this is what you want to play against. And this kind of stage against that kind of competition.
Yeah.
Now, defensively, Etowah is going to look a lot different this year. They got a lot of people moved around and kind of got some people in the right positions. DeMarcus, what do you expect out of their defense?
They lost a good bit of players, a lot of good players, but they still have good players on defense, and just about the same as last year. A lot of great athletes on both sides of the ball.
Nothing phases DeMarcus. I mean, what was it, 70-something yards as a sophomore?
Mr. Cool. You know? I mean,
what was that? Was it 70 yards?
It was about 60. Was it 61?
That was the last game at Etowah.
The pass to Jamontes? Yeah. It was about
the one he broke down the sidelines as a sophomore against Etowah.
Oh yeah.
That was like 61.
61. Yeah.
That was a good game. I expect a big crowd. You know, they said they're only going to sell half capacity, which is like 4,000, but we'll see.
I think we can fit a few more in there.
We'll see. It'll be interesting. Either way, it's going to be a big crowd and a huge atmosphere. Reggie, what else you got? Anything else?
Wear your mask. Everybody just...
We're actually going to be putting a video out. Dr. Hall is doing a video tomorrow to talk about what fans should expect coming into the stadium to be prepared before you get there. But Reggie is 100% correct. You're going to have to at least wear your mask into the gate. And the people you're with, you don't have to social distance if you guys come in together. But they're asking, your random fans to be 6 foot apart.
Yeah. I mean, if we want to finish the season, just follow the rules.
Yeah. I mean, I'll do whatever. If you want me to dress up in a clown outfit, which I have done.
We've already done that.
Wait a minute. To get these guys to finish playing football, I'll do that. I'll stand there and hold me the clown outfit. Whatever it takes.
I like it.
Yeah.
He said it here, guys.
Yeah. Whoever sees that. If I need to sit in the clown outfit so these guys can play football, hey, my self-respect was shot years ago. I'll do it. I'll do it.
I think we need to repost that video.
Oh, the clown one? Josh probably cropped that in there. Let's don't mention it to him.
Okay.
All right, guys. Good luck to you guys, not only for this game, but moving forward. I'm excited about 7A Region 3. To be the best, you got to beat the best.
And speaking of 7A Region 3, we are going to be working with High School Sports Weekly, those guys, and covering 7A Region 3. So look for some collaboration with those guys. We're going to be doing some things for them. They're going to do some things for us, so look out for that as well.
100%. All right, that's it. All right, everybody. Our next game is Southside versus Lincoln. I have 2 legendary players from Southside that's got a lot of minutes under their belt on both sides of the ball. This guy right here might be playing both sides of the ball this year. We'll keep that feather under our hat right now. But I'm going to let these 2 gentlemen introduce themselves.
I'm Alden Battles. I'm a receiver. Play a little bit of free safety.
I'm Hayden Fry, Sam linebacker, and H-back.
Shh, can't tell nobody yet. It's supposed to be a secret. But, guys, I'm going to start out with this right here. I had the chance to go down when they named Coach Nelson as the next coach. I went down to Montgomery Academy and interviewed Coach Nelson at his home in Montgomery. And I was there 3 minutes and blown away by him. I'm sure you guys probably feel the same way when y'all introduced him. Alden, for you specifically, when you first met Coach Nelson, how was that, and what did you think about him?
Oh, it's gonna be a great year. I love that coach. If I'm doing something wrong, he'll chew me out for it. I mean, I like coaches like that, and then it just proves me to get better.
He is the type of guy that it's all about another coach with positive message, though. And I noticed when y'all was at practice the other day, you guys were upbeat, having a great time. Talk about his presence, just from his mentality and his standpoint of how he treats his team and players.
He's very high energy, and every player feeds off that. It'll go from him to other coaches to players, and then we're all just jumping around having fun out there.
Y'all were doing it the other day, and Hayden, for you specifically, Coach seems to lean a little defensive. I noticed, I talked to him, watched him in the huddles and things, and he was in there teaching his base defense the first day y'all come back and practice in June. I got to go see it. Talk about what he's meant for you guys on the defensive side of the ball, his philosophies and everything.
I think it'll be good what he wants us to do. We should be able to stop a lot of runs, and we cover the pass pretty good too.
And you specifically being, he actually named you, I don't know if you've seen the interview we did with him 2 days ago that dropped.
Yeah.
He actually named you specifically for the top player you are. What does that mean for him to like single you out, to notice? He knows that he's got you in 100% bought in even before he's seen you take a snap.
I mean, it feels good.
This guy's being humble.
Be humble about it.
Now, talk about, you said you play some H-back this year. But you didn't get to do that last year. How's that been working so far for you?
I like it. I like playing offense and playing both ways.
As long as there's contact, he's in. He don't care what it is, kickoff, whatever. Alden, I got to talk to you about something, man. Talk to us about the shield. Everybody's giving you crap about the other day at practice. Dude, looks pretty smooth. We may have to throw a picture up if Josh can.
Saying I can't see the ball, but really, it's just
I think it looks pretty smooth. Yeah, he got a smooth looking Darth Vader one. Nice. I like it.
The ball's thrown to me. I give my 100% all for it. I'll dive. I'll lay out for the ball. Which that face shield don't phase me because I see straight out of it, and they can't see in me, so that gives me an advantage.
They can't see your eyes. Coach Scoop was talking about some of the catches you've made out there so far this year. Has the game slowed down to you a little bit coming from last year to this year?
Very. It's more controlling.
And I noticed one thing, and I'll let both of you guys talk about this. Michael Rich looks like a man out there throwing a football. That dude was throwing 40 and 50-yard darts at practice. I mean, what's changed with Michael Rich? We'll let Hayden talk about it first. I mean, he looks so much more comfortable.
Got that Joe Burrow syndrome.
He does, dude, I'm telling you. But another average Joe's first here, before this dude explodes on the scene this year. Heard it here first. Talk about Michael Rich and what he looks like. I'm gonna get both of you guys. We'll start with him.
I think he's more comfortable with offense, and he's gotten bigger and stronger, and I think he'll be good this year.
His arm strength looks different.
And his arm strength. He can throw it.
He was spinning it the other day at practice like nobody's business. And you're catching a lot of these balls. Talk about his progressions and how you've had to notice a difference from last year to this year.
This year's coming in a whole lot harder. It catching and you look at your hands like, golly.
It really hurts when it gets cold.
Oh, you ain't thought about that yet, have you? Hey, the colder it gets, the better your season's going.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? If it's freezing, you're doing something right.
You're going deeper. Let me ask you this: obviously, with COVID and things like that, he's obviously found some ways to work through that and get out and still work. And were there times where y'all can get out and, even if it was quote an unorganized practice, and throw football and run some routes? Were y'all still doing that?
Hayden, in your case, you like to hit people. How did you plan around that where you could still have contact during COVID nighttime? I'm just kidding with your brother.
I figured he had some sheetrock hanging around and just run through that from time to time.
Yeah. How do you practice hitting people? That was my biggest question. Hayden, from you, what have you guys? I know Lincoln lost some, but you're talking about a 9-3 football team. What have you guys seen from them on film that we should expect out of them come Friday?
Well, we haven't really seen a whole lot of film except from last year, so I think it's a little bit different, but I think it's going to be pretty much the same things it's been for the past 2 years.
I got you.
I think we'll be able to hold them this year.
Alden, from your case, defensively, what did you see from them?
Same thing as last year.
You guys at times last year looked really good offensively, and sometimes you had some struggles. What do you think it's going to take to get you guys confident, flowing, for the whole entire game and season coming up?
High energy. Everybody on the sidelines going crazy. Coaches. That's how it should be.
I love it. Hayden, one last thing for you, man. You guys defensively, again, at times y'all look really good, and sometimes y'all had some struggles. Same question to you. To get that, like Coach talked about, like consistency over and over, what do you think it's going to take?
I think it's you'll have to everybody rallying to the ball and getting hot.
I love it. Well, guys, I'm looking forward to good things from you. You guys are going to build a foundation, which I honestly think Coach Nelson didn't come up here and rent a house. He's going to come up here and buy a house. He's going to be here for a long time.
Yeah.
And that, to me, if I was a player and I seen that, it's over. You know what I mean? This guy, he's coming up here to stay. And I think these two guys right here are going to build that foundation that we're going to say, hey, these are the two guys that set the standard. I appreciate you guys coming in. I can promise you it's not going to be the last time we have you in this season.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Our next game is going to bring us into Clay Central Volunteers.
Yeah.
Versus they're actually traveling to Chilton County, which is going to be an interesting game. They're making the move up to 6A this year. So they're going to bring in the 5A state champs. Back to back.
Not too pitchy.
Do the folks in Chilton County know what they signed up for?
Well, I said this last year, and the good, fine folks of Clay Central got a kick out of it. I don't know much about Chilton County, but I know they're in trouble.
Yeah.
I know that. This is another one of those cases. Now, on paper, you're going to say, well, they lost J.D. McNeely, and they lost Javon Woods, and they lost Quentin. Hey, here's the deal. They still got Danny Horn.
Yeah, exactly.
You read my mind, man. That's exactly what I was thinking.
I mean, they still got Chase Horn. And they still have a proud program and a lot of kids that grind. And I mean, they grind. Josh goes out there pretty regular, and the way they practice and the way they do things out there is amazing. And probably the biggest quote and one of the most shared pictures we've had on Average Joe's in the last year is the Boyd Ogles about his take on the let them play that we shared. And that was very special, not just for Boyd Ogles and the Ogles family and people of Clay Central, but everybody. They was players retweeting, sending out on Facebook, putting on Instagram what Boyd said, and that picture photo we did, which is really remarkable. His words really touched a lot of people's lives, man. I thought that was pretty impressive. Oh, yeah. But having him back and the confidence that he's been the quarterback to these two state championship teams we've had back to back. They still got some dogs over there, and they're still going to be hard.
It's Clay County, man. I mean,
It is.
I mean, it's Clay County and Lineville. I mean, they're always going to be loaded. They're always going to be loaded.
No doubt. So Tal Morrison and company at Chilton County. I don't know too much about Chilton County. Do you guys?
A lot of peaches.
Yeah. It's going to be the pitch for them, though, after Friday night.
Well, all right. That about sums that one up.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Welcome into Average Joe's. Our next game is going to be Ashville and Oak Grove. Ashville has a new head coach, very good friend of the show that we've been out to see, and I'm going to let Reggie talk about Coach for a minute.
Coach Shea Monroe. Probably one of the best things that Asheville did was hiring this guy. He's very energetic. I mean, he loves Asheville. He loves Asheville football. He loves the community. And hiring him as head coach of the football team and as athletic director, like I said, it's probably one of the best things Asheville could have done. Like I said, he's very passionate, and with him leading him, I think Asheville athletics overall is going to be, he's going to take them to the next level.
And Mr. Asheville Bulldog himself, Kevin Moore, is here.
This not only serves as a mask for the COVID-19 social distancing, but I've been told this is a double serve to have a muzzle on me.
He's got too much Asheville in him.
He's got too much Asheville. He's the Harvey Updike of Asheville.
I'm catching up with you, Kevin. Man, I like Asheville.
Yeah. And by the way, I know there's one thing that you probably don't like about
Coach Monroe, he's a big Georgia fan.
He is, but
He comes from a winning program in Georgia. He knows he's been around winning, and I've already noticed several changes. They've made a total commitment to doing things. Redone the field house, cleaning, making the players accountable. That's the main thing. Because I was at practice the other night, and after they got through running and everything, they were going to have to do 40 up downs because they didn't clean
40.
Wow. And I didn't stick around for that because I was afraid they'd drag me into it. Cause I can't even do one.
You got on out of there.
If I do an up down, I got to have something to help me up.
He came from Grayson.
Yeah.
Those are familiar with Grayson's who beat Hoover two years in a row.
Yeah.
Very powerful program.
He played for the head coach when he was there was Mickey Kahn, who's now the defensive back coach for Clemson.
Absolutely.
So,
Mickey Kahn's a legend.
So he's
I tell you, hey, if you want to be a successful coach, you got to start at Asheville. For some reason, Asheville has just springboarded a lot of careers.
Well, but there are some exceptions.
Raymond Farmer.
Yeah, Raymond Farmer.
Who'd you say? John Gross.
John Gross. Yeah.
And John Gross and Bill Clark.
Bill Clark
was
at UAB.
And Asheville's a who's who.
And Perry Swindle, who coached at Russellville, and he was in the band till his senior year, and he played football, and he decided he wanted to be a coach. So he won a couple of state titles in his career as well. So there's a lot of coaching carousels that come out of Asheville. But we've hit some hard times. This is Coach Monroe is our fourth head coach in the last 5 years.
I want to talk about one player in particular. I want you to tell us about your quarterback that's coming back.
Dylan Harris.
He's the real deal.
Yeah, he and this will be his I say 2.5. He started midway through the 2018 season. He started all last year, and he's a junior this year, so he'll have one more year after this year. So
Coach Monroe said the game's really slowed down to him.
Yeah,
with his progression, everything.
He's a much mature man. Saw him at practice the other night. He made his way out to come speak to me, and sometimes now there's a lot of kids that are kind of all official sports drink of Asheville football. But anyway, well, it has been. It's a new dawn on today. But anyway, he's a bright young man, and our success this year is going to really depend on the offensive line.
I did the highlights video from when I went to practice, and he really stuck out. He throws a really good ball.
Really nice ball.
Yeah. And the 8th grader, I think it was Chris Bothwell.
Yeah.
Quarterback. He's going to be something special.
He, in fact, I was watching him during warm-ups the other night, and he was putting some zip on the ball.
Yeah.
And so of course, like I said, being an 8th grader, he's wet behind the ears, and he's gonna be a good one. A good athletic skill. I just
Oak Grove's a very winnable game too. These guys are 1-9.
Yeah, it's a very winnable game. Like I said, Coach Monroe has done a good job, like Kevin said, getting those guys motivated. He's made a lot of positive changes at Asheville.
That's one of the first things you got to do as a coach when you go into a new program.
I mean, he's changed up. Guys that have coached the same position for the last several years, he's moved them around.
Good.
Got a new offensive coordinator.
New blood in this area with Coach Nelson, Coach Garrett, and Coach Shea Monroe is something to behold. I enjoy every one of those three guys.
I've had an opportunity to meet Coach Nelson. And I've talked to him on the phone a couple of times, and some of the coaches that he played for.
Some of his players is in the room right now.
Yeah. Oh no, he's a great guy. But what I'm saying is, some of Coach Nelson's coaches that he played for in high school used to coach at Asheville. So it's just weird how the coaching tree circled around there.
Josh said it best. You want to be a great coach, you got to start at Asheville.
Start at Asheville.
Hey, I think this guy right here is going to be the next one. I'm telling you.
I do want to give a shout out to Coach Monroe for the Asheville shirt.
Yeah.
I will have to wear it on air next week.
Appreciate that.
Where's mine at,
bro? Coach Monroe.
See what happens when you give something out, Coach? You got to give it to everybody.
I told him I'd give him a shout out on air for the shirt.
Well, guys, we are looking forward to big things at Asheville this year.
One little trivia: Asheville has never beaten Oak Grove. They're 0-3.
When was the last time they played?
About 12 years ago.
Well, I'm gonna give you a little fun fact. The next time they ask that same question, they're gonna give them this Friday night's day.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The buck stops here, man. Let's do this.
Hammer down.
Hammer down for the cities.
Hammer down for the cities. Yes. All right, guys, we're at our next segment of our preview show. We're going to talk about the Westbrook and Coosa Christian game. Huge rivalry with these two teams. Goes back to what, the 80s, 90s, I think. Westbrook beat Coosa last year, 54-30, if I'm not mistaken, or 52-24, excuse me. Kevin, start us off, man.
Yeah,
Tell
this
us
is going to
about
be
the
an
game.
interesting rivalry because Westbrook had lost a lot of seniors off of last year's team. And is this Noel's second year at Westbrook or third?
This is his second year.
Okay, well, second year, and they've had a coaching change at Coosa. I think Mark O'Brien is the interim coach for the season, so it's going to be interesting to see. And I've known Mark for years. It's good to see him get another chance to lead a football team because I know he's going to do it the right way. He's a first class guy, and so that's going to be interesting there. And I think now is Knowles the quarterback back?
Will knows he is back.
Yeah,
he is back. He's a senior this year.
And I know Coosa's had some players come in. A new team, and they've got a kid. He's still over there, the wide receiver that's real tall.
Evan Dipp, Evan Dipp is that's a grown man.
Oh yeah,
that's a grown man
and,
amongst boys in 1A football.
So that's going to be an interesting rivalry. 'Cause like I said, it goes back to I remember when I was in high school at Ashville. There weren't many games that I followed besides Asheville, but that was one I always kept up with because I knew a lot of folks that went there. So that was an intense rivalry. So hopefully, with it being two Christian schools, hopefully they'll come out Friday night and play in a classy way. So.
I'm pretty sure they will.
Two great coaches. Shout out to Mark. Mark, glad to see you back. Known Mark for a long time as well. He's a great guy, great coach. So I'm looking forward to this game. I think it'll be a 4-4 game.
Like they always say, God wins on this game.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
I think Coosa is going to come out and they're going to come out and try to get Westbrook in the mouth pretty early. I've gone to a few of their practices, and those guys are working really hard at Coosa. It's a very young bunch, but they work hard, and they've got a really good guy, quarterback, and like I said, Evan Dipp. You just throw the ball up in the air, he's going to catch it. He's going to find a way to come down with it. So,
could be a shootout Friday night.
It very well could be. It very well could be, but I think if it turns into that, I think in the fourth quarter, Westbrook's going to probably their depth's going to come in and play.
Sure number of players.
Yeah, they've got. I know they're dressed like.
And plus, they run the ball a little bit more than what Coosa does. So, but I know, and if I know Coach O, he's going to have some kind of something up his sleeve to kind of throw misdirection, halfback pass. But he'll like to have that up no huddle going.
Oh yeah.
If that's what I'm just going based on what he's done in the past.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting game. Like I said, Coosa's young, but they're hungry. They worked hard. And Mark O'Brien and that coaching staff over there, they are it's a great group of guys.
Oh yeah, awesome guys. So,
guys, y'all have anything else?
I think so.
Great game.
Let's got it.
All right, guys, coming in with our next game, we got the West End Patriots and Susan Moore Bulldogs. Susan Moore Bulldogs.
Question mark?
Yeah, question mark. I couldn't remember their mascot. I'm usually pretty good on mascots. That one I kind of had a brain fart. West End's coming off a 4-6 season. They started off kind of slow, but about midway through the season, they kind of hit a hot streak and they turned into a pass happy team. You got quarterback Eli Pierce coming back. And there's another Pierce on the team, and you got our man Camacho coming back. West End seems like they've got all the pieces of the puzzle to make a run at a region title this year.
Yeah, they're going to give Susan Moore a run for their money. Now, Susan Moore went 12-1. They made it to the third round playoffs. Mm-hmm. And of course, they're led by head coach Heath Lauderdale, who previously coached at Ashville. He was the girls' basketball coach, and he interviewed for the job when it was eventually given to Barry Simmons, and Heath moved on to that job came open. And I think Heath is originally from that area. So, of course, this is a big rivalry for both teams. I always call it the Battle of Stage Crossroads. Because they're all right there together, and Susan Moore traditionally has got a good football team. They've had good teams over the years, and like I said, West End, they're going to come in over that pass happy offense, and Susan Moore, I think they lost. They didn't lose a whole lot, but they lost some key positions last year, coming off of last year's team, and it's going to be a challenge to see if I know Coach Lauderdale will have those guys ready because they're hard nosed physical football team, and they're disciplined. And I kept up with them a little bit last year, and they didn't seem to make a whole lot of mistakes as far as penalties and turnovers. So, and that's one of the reasons for their success. But it's going to be interesting to see who wins this ball game Friday night.
Buddy, Kyle Davis, he's a great coach. He's been at West End. I think this is his 6th or 7th year. He seems to be turning things around slowly, but surely everything's coming together. Talk about Kyle Davis and what he's got going on at West End.
Well, Kyle Davis, he and I actually grew up playing against each other. We had talked about that the first time I met him at one of our Players of the Week. And he actually went to Alexandria. He's a heck of a player, heck of a guy. He's a great coach. And one of the phrases that he uses constantly on his hashtags on his Facebook page is something we kind of borrow now, and I love it. It's positive gossip. When you think about that, it's a pretty neat deal. That's what he's trying to do: create positivity in the players, especially in what we're dealing with right now. Positive gossip. We need a lot of that, and now he started that phase 2. So I'm anxious to see what phase 2 of positive gossip and what Kyle Davis is going to do there. I'm excited to see it.
Oh yeah.
Off the camera here, the peanut gallery is going to talk. Coach Davis, whatever he's selling, I'm buying.
Definitely, absolutely.
I don't care. There's people come after him wanting him to coach some of these other schools. He's going where he loves it there. He loves his family's there. He's a West End guy. And the thing I like about him most is the guy puts an exciting brand of football that a lot of teams are scared to do in high school. A lot of teams won't let it fly like that. But when you got a player pulling the trigger like Eli Pierce, he uses what he has, and I'm telling you, they look unbelievable. Now, they lost Jeremiah Robinson, who was a heck of a receiver, one of the best receivers in the state, statistics-wise. But, they got some dudes that's going to step up, and they're going to keep right on rolling, man. He's built a foundation there.
He definitely has. And one thing with his defense got to a slow start last year. They hired their coordinator kind of late in the summer, and so they got off to a slow start. But once they got things rolling, like I said, they hit a hot streak and won some games, and I think they were a game away from being in the playoffs. So I think West End's got all the pieces there to make a run at a region title this year and possibly make a deep run in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, our next game is, if not the big, it has to be the biggest game in the state. It's the defending 6A state champion versus defending 7A state champion. We're talking Oxford and Thompson. I don't know if you might could get a bigger game than this, but I'd like to see it. This, on paper, you're talking about athletes across the board. You're talking about elite coaching at the highest level in the state. You're talking about 2 proud programs that are second to none in the state right now. And what's uniquely funny about this game, a lot of these guys are actually familiar with each other, and you kind of wonder why. The Southern Express 7-on-7 team, they actually had featured a lot of guys from Thompson, a lot of skill position guys, and a lot of guys from Oxford with the Fagans. So this game is a lot more between the lines than you actually would think, just besides them being the 7A and 6A state champion. The one thing that's kind of intriguing to me is Thompson is wide receiver heavy. Now, they do got good running backs. They are really, really good receivers. But you counter that with what Oxford does with Fagan's Island. There's a Fagan on every corner. That matchup right there is key. But what's going to blow your mind, and I just talked to Coach Etheridge a little bit ago, he said specifically, who wins the battle up front is going to win this football game.
And one interesting thing about Thompson, I think they're breaking in a new quarterback this year. So that's going to to me, I think that's going to be a key in this matchup is how well their quarterback play will be. And again, like you said, you got Fagan Island out there that he's going to be thrown into. So you said this is probably one of the biggest games in the state. I would go as far as saying probably in the Southeast. One of the top games in the Southeast.
I can agree with that.
And probably due to COVID, if it wasn't for COVID, I think ESPN would probably be here.
I'm gonna go out on the venture. If it wasn't for COVID, there's no time how many people would be at this game. It being on a Saturday and all the other schools shut down.
Yeah. No college football. Yeah.
Reggie, we're talking 12 state championships between the 2 coaches.
Yeah.
Think about that for a minute.
That's
Etheridge
unreal.
probably got 7 or 8 of them.
He's got 5.
Etheridge's got 5 and
4 leads and 1 at Oxford.
Yep.
Now, these 2 schools have 6 state championships combined, but now it's spread out over a period of time. But Thompson's relatively new.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're going nowhere with the amount of players that they have. And the 2 teams, I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting.
It is.
Kevin, your take on the game?
Well, I knew when I followed Coach Etheridge's career back when he was at Leeds because Ashville played them, and they weren't good when he got there, and he built them, and of course moved on. And when he got the job at Oxford, I thought he'll have a state title in 3 years. And by God,
First
year one, and I watched that state championship game. They almost lost it there, but they got a couple of breaks there, and they drove down the field and won the game. But and Coach Etheridge has been at several places over the years, and I would be hard pressed to find him leaving, and I would expect him to be at Leeds at Oxford for a long, long time. Yeah. And plus the facilities they got over there. So Oxford's here to stay. And for anybody that's in Oxford's region, well, might as well everybody's just playing for second. And Thompson, like I said, they had struggled for the last 8 or 10 years until this new coach, I forget his name, came there. He's turned it around. And at one time, he was the highest paid coach in the state over Hoover. Mm-hmm. Now, and the Oxford job, it's I'm pretty sure it's one of the top 3 paid jobs in the state. So the money these coaches are going to be making after this game is going to be unreal.
Yeah, I think Mark Freeman was the top dog as far as money, and then Hewitt Trustful came in, and then Hoover said no.
Now, where did Thompson come from? Was it South Alabama somewhere?
Thompson, they're in Alabaster.
No, I'm talking about the coach at Freeman.
Freeman, he was at Spanish Fort.
Yeah, okay.
He was at Spanish Fort.
He won.
He won 2 at Spanish Fort, actually.
Yeah. Huge game across the board. Oxford's replacing the running back Carlisle, but they're going to do it by committee this year. You'll see a Fagan or 2 at running back as well. Trey Higgins is back. Rock is back. Rock is probably the best receiver in the state. If he's not the best, I dare to say who's better than him. Yeah. They've got the skill position players, but I'm agreeing with Coach Etheridge. Who plays better up front is who's going to win this football game. Because skill position for skill position, Oxford will match anybody. Very few teams in the nation has way more skill positions than Oxford, more or less in the state. So
yeah. And something that I noticed too that I can't believe when Max Preps came out with their top 100 rankings, there were 3 teams from Alabama, and when I saw that, I was like, okay, Oxford's got to be one of those 3 teams, and they're not. I just didn't understand that. Alabama, we should have 4 teams in that poll. Nothing against Oxford, nothing against Hoover, Hewitt, Trustful, and Thompson, but Oxford, I feel like is one of the top 4 teams in this state.
Yeah,
well, that'll change soon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But anyways, we're looking for big things out of Coach Etheridge and the Oxford Yellow Jackets this year, hands down, no doubt. A lot of returning starters, and they're up to over 100 players now. That I think Coach said last count over 20-something new players to come out, 3 or 4 basketball players. Mm-hmm. They're going to be athletic, faster. I mean, they're just going to get better and better. And who wouldn't want to play for a winner and a great guy like Keith Etheridge?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, that about wrap this one up. All right, our next game is going to be Center Point traveling to Wenonah. And right now we have a very special coach in. Coach Brandon Wilcox is the offensive coordinator at Center Point. I was actually out at practice today and seeing those guys going through their progressions and working out in this heat, and it was pretty remarkable. They look pretty dialed in. Coach Wilcox, how are you doing?
Hey, doing great, guys. Appreciate y'all having me on.
Absolutely, man. We're doing our preview show tonight. Talk to us about the challenges you've had with COVID-19 to get your guys ready to where they're at. And the next thing you know, we're looking at game week this week already. It came up on us very fast. But talk about that and what that's looked like for you and your program.
Sure. Well, Coach Bass has just done a great job of following the protocols and just we get there every morning. Our kids they're staying in their cars. They've got their masks on. And, we walk out there, we temp them up, we record their temperature, and we got about 3 or 4 questions we ask them. And, it's just been very good to see the kids buy into, I guess the new normal is what we like to call it. But, it's been some challenges. But, when we're in meeting rooms, we've got our chairs spread out. Everybody's got masks on. And, we're just trying to do our part to make sure that we're staying as safe as possible. And, you can see the coaches walking around during the weights and wiping down equipment. And, it's just, it's a different time we're living in right now. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure we give ourselves the best chance to stay healthy and be able to play the game that we love. But as far as the kids go, man, they've been very, kids are always adaptable. I joined the program in June, and so for us, being able to install our offense and get those kids to learn the new system on top of all the other things going on, it's been a challenge, but they've been very eager to learn, and they're starting to understand what we're wanting them to do. And we're really excited about getting to play Friday night and kind of see how the kids respond and see what kind of team we got.
All right, Coach. You said you joined the program. This is Reggie, by the way. You joined the program back in June. Tell us about that transition from coming from Montevallo and coming over to Center Point with Coach Bates.
Yeah, it was kind of a spur of the moment deal. Coach Bates and I kind of talked a little bit. We've known each other for years. I've always had a ton of respect for the programs he's built all the way back to minor when he was 6A coach of the year. So we've always kind of kept up with each other. And when we talked and I saw he had an offensive coordinator position, Coach Ron Sickler joined the UAB staff and actually left his program. He'd been his longtime offensive coordinator all the way again back in minor. And so we talked. I actually went over to his house and we just kind of made sure that it was a good fit for both of us. And once we got to talking, I quickly realized it was a no-brainer move for me. And the next day I went and watched him practice and got to meet the kids and just saw a fantastic program with great kids. And, it's a dream come true type opportunity for me right now. So it's just been really good and I've really enjoyed it.
Coach, I got a question for you. You guys feature a running back that's not a normal looking guy. This guy looks like a left tackle playing a running back. And also, I've noticed at practice you have two very capable quarterbacks that seem to be, making progressions from the first time we came out and seen you guys play to now. Can you talk about those three players in particular?
Yeah, we've got a running back that probably back in my playing days at T.R. Miller, he'd been playing pulling guard or something of that nature. He's about 230 pounds, and actually our backup running back's probably about 225, 228, somewhere in there. So we've got two guys that we feel like if they'll get low and run underneath their pads are going to create some problems for guys over the 4 quarters of a football game. We're going to try to preach that physical mentality that we like to, that Coach Bates likes to talk about, and the type of program he likes to run. And so, we're excited about seeing both those guys run the football. And then as far as a quarterback, competition goes, we got a young man named Troy Bruce who's kind of took over the reins a little bit. And both those guys are sophomores, and I think we feel like we have confidence in both of them if either one of them has to play. But Jabari Collier's another guy, and yeah, they've come a long way. I know you came probably 2-3 weeks ago, and there was definitely some growing pains, and we're not there yet as far as completely understanding the offense and completely. They're sophomores, so they're going to make mistakes, but. At the end of the day, I trust both of them, and I'm excited to see. They're dual threat guys, and I think they're going to be able to, be dangerous, throwing the ball in also with their legs.
Absolutely.
Coach, I just got a question. This is Kevin, by the way. I know in normal years, when I was in school, there wasn't a lot of 7-on-7 stuff. You just basically showed up a couple weeks before the season started and got in shape. But with this, in the last several years, 7-on-7 camps were really popular and got a lot. The kids got to do repetitions and stuff with their offense. How are y'all able to adjust to that this year, or was that something that set y'all back a little bit, or is that not something that y'all were able to make up during the fall camp?
Well, I think it definitely made things more difficult, especially again coming in June and not being able to go out there and compete. The way we kind of did it in June, we did everything kind of. On air. We didn't do any blocking man on man. We didn't do any, coverage as far as the receivers go. So we were installing our offense. We did what we call routes on air, and that kind of thing. And then once July got here, we kind of transitioned to a little bit more competition stuff where we're going past under pressure and we're doing some skelly or 7-on-7. So we've got to incorporate some of that stuff because at some point, obviously, you got to compete, play the game. Yeah, it set us back some. But at the end of the day, we've got pretty much all of July. We got that in. Now we're a couple weeks into August, and so the kids are. They're ready to play a game. They really are. And we were probably a few weeks behind where we wanted to be, but I think we've made up some ground the last couple of weeks.
That's great.
You were talking about Coach Bates and how y'all were a good fit. Tell us about you guys' relationship, because I noticed when we came out there, it just seemed like y'all meshed well with each other.
Well, first off, he's just a great guy, which that always helps. You want to work for good people. Yep. Second off, he understands. He understands me, and he understands I'm a competitor, and that I'm gonna coach the kids hard, and he's not one time asked me to be anybody but myself. Mm-hmm. And I respect that. He respects some of the things that we've been able to do in some of my programs in the past. So there's just a mutual respect and mutual bond there. And the second thing is he's just a great guy off the field. So, I don't think there's been a single day where we didn't come off the practice field and at some point all the coaches sat in the coach's office and just once we got done talking, the next day's practice schedule or talking schematics or personnel, we sat there for 30 minutes to an hour and just had a good time and talked to each other. So it's not just Coach Bates. We just got a great staff all together, where everybody gets along. Everybody, loves coaching ball. They're having fun. I know you were out there today and probably saw our offensive line coach, Coach Blind.
I did.
I think he's one of the best coaches I've been around, and he's just having fun. And I literally get tickled sometimes just watching grown men out there running around smiling. That's why we do this. It obviously isn't because we make a ton of money. It's because we love what we do. So you put all those things together, it makes it fun. It makes it fun to get up in the morning and go to work.
Well, Coach, it's been a pleasure having you on. It's definitely not going to be the last time. We're looking forward to covering you guys and getting out there and watching you guys play. And good luck Friday night.
Hey, appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
All right, have a good one.
All right, see you.
All right.